So now we get to explore the second newest project that's just been announced, which is the new CUNY Collaborative and Incubation Center at the Manhattanville Factory District. So I'm very excited to have both of you here to talk about that. So Andrew, can you just tell us a little bit about your background and introduce yourself?
Sure. So I'm Andrew Wooten, Senior Director of Innovation Management and Business Development at City College of New York. And also, I'll be leading this new organization we want to tell you about called the City Innovations Collaborative. As far as my background, I've sort of been at the interface of university research and the commercial world for most of my career. So various institutions, I don't know if I should mention the other institutions, but Baylor College of Medicine, the Cincinnati Children's Hospital, Arizona State University, doing running the commercialization operations and doing startup companies, running investment funds for new university startup companies and helping to build the regional innovation ecosystems. So.
Great. Well, that is a great background for what you're doing now. Yeah. And Scott, you want to just announce yourself?
Yeah, and thanks as always for having us and another great event. But I'm Scott Metzner. I'm a principal at the Janus property company, and we're developers here in New York, and we've been developing the million-plus square foot, 4-acre Manhattanville Factory District up in West Harlem. We're sort of at the intersection of 125th Street, which is the major arts and cultural and innovation corridor in Upper Manhattan, and the #1 train in Broadway. We're sitting right at Amsterdam and 125th Street. So we've completed a number of buildings. We've got a number of life science and health-related tenants up there. And this is our largest tenant. This will be 36,000 square foot full base floor of the Taystee Lab Building, which is the new construction that we recently completed in the factory district. And we're very excited to have Andrew and City College and CUNY kick this off for us.
So what's interesting is just in the summer, we had an event at the Taystee Building in Manhattanville Factory District, and that was followed by an event at the CUNY Science Center, which on their nearby campus. And what was interesting about the CUNY event was it is one of the most sophisticated research operations in the city, and just tremendous scientists running the centers there. And then we had a very sophisticated construction and design team that had actually built the building, but they had never met each other before. And so they were able to actually come together for the first time and talk to each other, you know, two groups of people at the top of their game, both of them involved in the same project in very different ways. And so it was kind of fun to share all that. But tell us about the CUNY Collaborative.
Yeah, so the name of this new organization is the City Innovations Collaborative. And so when I came to City College, the idea was to think about how to sort of up the game with the regional innovation ecosystem. And so I looked at the institution, the strengths, the weaknesses, what were the gaps. What I found there was an institution that has this long and proud tradition of social mobility, raising up the students in these underrepresented communities and all across, you know, all of the city. And so that was very, very impressive. And it had a growing prowess, a growing footprint in research, you know, growing research dollars coming in and whatnot. But I think where we need to up our game was in the commercialization of innovations. And there was a gap in the resources all around, including infrastructure to do that work. And so when the opportunity came along, so we had been doing some other things successfully. We had won some federal, you know, economic development administration grants to do product development centers, you know, accelerators and different things. But we really needed the workshop. We needed the space, not to do research, but do translation, right? And to do really all of the things that we really developed a full-fledged regional innovation strategy based on who we serve. And so we've kind of aligned to this new NSF regional innovation engines model about use-inspired research, translation to practice, and workforce development, and how do you put that all together into a unified strategy. So that's what the City Innovations Collaborative is. We actually applied for that. We're hopeful that we will be selected as one of those. We don't know that for sure, but in any case, it's been a very useful framework for us to organize our operations, and so that's. I think what we're doing here, it's about more than the real estate, right? I mean, the real estate is essential. It's one of those crucial pieces of crucial resources that we need to do this work. But there's a bigger strategy at play, and so anyway, we can talk more about that. I don't want to get too far in the weeds. I do want to acknowledge this would not be possible. So the project was about a $34 million total cost to do this project. As Scott described the floor that we're building out, it would not be possible without NYCEDC and a $15 million grant that we were awarded there, and then also our partnership with Janus property. And so, together we were able to put together this full package to build out. And now we still have to build it out, but we also want to work a lot on the activity that we want to put into this, and make sure that it is aligned with the mission of the institution. So.
Yeah, no, but I want to step back and I just want to focus on that Regional Innovation Engines project for a moment from NSF, because that really is critical. And it carries quite a bit of money with it, right? So who are the other universities that you have been collaborating with to form that? And if you are selected, what do you get and what will you do with that?
So one of the things that we have to remember is that CUNY is a system. Mm-hmm. And it has a footprint across the metropolitan region. So a lot of our partnerships are with our own system, right? So and in different parts of the region. But we also have partnerships with. So I mean, before I leave that topic, I would say like the School of Public Health you talked about, and the different units of our own organization, the I-Core, hub. There's so many resources within our own system.
We presented your I-Core hub last year.
Right. So that'll be an important part of it. But also it's important to work across other research institutions. So we're working with the folks at Columbia, the folks at NYU, different other regional powerhouse research institutions, but also other hospital systems and the regional economic development player, both the city and the state. The city is going to play a large part in helping to devise the strategy for this engine, and so our model is about it's a co-innovation consortium, mm-hmm. And we need different types of resources at different stages of development for different product categories. We can never do this on our own. So it's about how do we bring the synergy from all of these partners together to do things on behalf of the city that we couldn't do by ourselves.
Right. And the end result of that is the project gets $160 million, is that right?
$160 million if you win. We didn't win. There's a type 1, there's a type 2. We applied for the type 1, which is the planning phase that gives us a year and a half, 2 years to really pull everything together. But the important thing for us is not whether we win that or not. It's like every other grant we've won. We didn't do it. We did it, that was the stimulus, that was the catalyst. Mm-hmm. But it's bigger than that, because every activity that we plan to do in this framework can be done independently without that particular source. So if you get this team pulled together, there are many opportunities to get funding, not just that NSF pot of money. And so we're interested in forming this consortium to go after opportunities more broadly than just NSF. Although NSF did a great job in creating this new flagship program that helps us to come together. So.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see more and more of those kind of regional focused, collaborative enterprises.
Absolutely.
So Scott, tell us a little bit about where this is going to live.
Sure. So what's exciting for us is to be really a critical part of growing this industry in New York City. And over really probably 20 years, we've assembled this 4-acre site. And the way we've developed it and master planned it is to have a critical outdoor component to it. So over this neighborhood, we've overlaid a series of outdoor pedestrian spaces, basically. And so we see ourselves as a connector between not only the neighborhood and all of the life science infrastructure that is around us, but also a connector of people. And so you can see on the graphic that just went up, we're basically sort of equidistant from Columbia's Manhattanville campus with the Jerome Green Science Building, City College, which in addition to as Nancy mentioned, the CUNY Advanced Science Research Center also has the City College Center for Innovation, has the New York Structural Biology Center. The 1 train as well as the A train takes you in literally minutes up to the Columbia University Medical Center. And of course, the A and D train take you south to 59th Street in 1 stop, 42nd Street 2 stops, and 34th Street in 3 stops. We've got the West Side Highway there, the bike path on the Hudson River, and Amsterdam Avenue is 2-way uptown and is the truck route in and out of Manhattan. So we're in a special mixed-use district, which is critical for a lot of the uses of life science and manufacturing. We have an M designation as part of our mixed use, and we have a collection of buildings that work well for anything from an incubating, small company, 1 or 2 person company, 4 or 5 person company, up to the Series A and B companies, up to the Taystee Lab Building, which is, as I said, has 37,000 square foot base floors, LEED certified, 30-foot column grid, and purpose built as a lab building from the ground up. So what we've seen so far, we've leased about 150,000 square feet to life science users. The balance is also, this is a big part of the uptown arts and culture scene. So we also have a number of users who are related to non-life science uses. And what we found is these people like to be together. There's a connection in both cases often to either Columbia or City College. We have additional development sites, and we're really trying to tap into everything the city has to offer in particular, both with the funding that the city gets for research, the brain power that lives and works here, but also on the west side, we're very easily accessible. A number of our tenants live in New Jersey or Westchester or upstate, and we're very easy to get to from there as well.
So you have a couple of more.
So this is the next slide, sort of zeroing in on our site. And so we have a face on 125th Street, this major boulevard uptown. And you can walk literally mid-block, very unusual, right to the front door of Taystee through the block. You have this beautiful, almost medieval feel where 126 and 127th Street come together, very unusual for cross streets in New York to come together. And then through the lobby of the Malt House across the street over to 127th, 128th Street. Our publicly accessible outdoor spaces were recently highlighted in Architectural Digest magazine. And about half of the spaces also have private outdoor terraces as well. This is we just jumped over, that was sort of a 3D axonometric view of the same thing, starting at 125th Street. And this is an image of some of the photographs of the Advanced Science Research Center, which Nancy, you put on an amazing show, and it's, for those of us not in the science world, the spaces look like something out of a sci-fi movie. It's a spectacular facility.
Yeah, it was the largest live roof I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was really fascinating, like what's in that building and how it's constructed.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And we're thrilled to, be partnering with City College and CUNY on this, and also hopefully helping them connect to a lot of our young startup companies, as well as helping them build their bridges with Columbia University. And the next shot, I think, is the Taystee Lab Building right there.
Can I tell a little bit about what's going to be in the space?
Sure, absolutely.
So I want to make sure that everybody's aware of the capabilities we actually will have in the facility. So we've designed it to accommodate up to 30 startup companies at any one time, with all of the support infrastructure for a wide range of life science products. And so everything from molecular biology, core labs and instrumentation, to maker labs, wet and dry lab space, co-working areas, of all the standard things like chemical safety, cold storage, suite, reception services, and the pantry, co-working offices, conference rooms, all the things you need to create a work space, a workshop for life science innovation. And but even as important as the place, the workshop is the programming. And so, we'll be bringing a lot of the CUNY capabilities that is disaggregated all over the place to a single site there. Not that it won't be offered in other places as well, but this will be a hub for that programming. And we have our own sort of acceleration activities that we are developing, things that we actually build on, layer on to what we've had in the past. Sort of take our game up to another level in the support of the new ventures. And as we say, sort of, we want to attract as many folks as are interested to come and be in the space. But we also want to grow our customers. We want to put a lot of work into cultivating. There's a lot of people that have come through our system and have had to go off to other places that they've been very successful with this top ranking in social mobility. But what about our own communities? We want to grow and stimulate the economies in our own communities, and that's what this is about.
And I think what's equally exciting for us is that the stimulation of the economy and the job creation, the workforce development is, when you think about Columbia's both undergraduates and graduate students, we can already see that. Harlem Biospace, an incubator that's already in our campus, is run. Some of you may have met her downstairs. She may be in here somewhere, but Krisha is a graduate of City College. And so I think that mission-based approach that City College and CUNY have is really just great for the city and something that we're certainly, very supportive of.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. Are there any questions? Well, I'm sure some of you can grab them afterwards during the reception and talk. But yeah, this is really exciting, and the vision is just extraordinary. So
thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you.